Hey, this is Mike with Riding in the Ozarks, where we talk riding, rallies, gear, and wrenching. Today, we're going to talk about the Honda Rebel 250, why I bought it, and why I'm selling it. Oh yeah, safety switch on the kickstand. Cannot put it in gear with kickstand down. So I bought this 2007 Honda Rebel 250 about 4 years ago. Now, the time I bought it, I had a daughter who was 16 and another daughter who was 12, and to be honest, the price was right. I was kind of looking for something that if they wanted to learn to ride on, that I could teach them. The older one seemed to express an interest in maybe learning to ride, and then I would have something that the younger one could ride as she got older and if she showed an interest. Well, that didn't turn out to be the case for the older one, but once I bought this bike, I had several females who wanted to learn to ride. Now, I came to an agreement with them. I would teach them the basics of riding a motorcycle on this bike: friction zone, shifting, stopping, starting, maybe a little bit of weaving in the cones, just, some basic stuff in a closed course kind of environment. I had a place they could practice at that was restricted, not public access and stuff. And it was a lot of fun, and some people learned some basic stuff, but part of the agreement was they needed to go take a safety course. I wasn't going to teach them how to ride a motorcycle A to Z, but more like I was going to teach them how to ride a motorcycle A to D. Enough that they felt comfortable going to a safety course and not feel like it was going to be a waste of their money because they weren't going to be able to do it or didn't want to do it. And also to get them past that, I'm going to go and embarrass myself because I can't even take off without killing them. That built their confidence up that they could go to the course and it wouldn't be a waste of money. And that worked out great. Actually, I've had 5 people ride this motorcycle and eventually go take a safety course and get their motorcycle license. I haven't had much of that the last year. Most of the friends of mine that wanted to do that have done it. But my daughter turned 16 this year, and at 15 we started practicing on this Honda Rebel a little bit last year, and she decided it wasn't for her. I mean, she still wants to learn to ride, but she's not going to ride a motorcycle all the time, and that's okay. She doesn't have to love what I love. She's her own person. That's great. That also means that I don't have as much need. This isn't getting roaded and getting used and isn't serving a purpose like it was. So that's why part of why I'm selling it, and that's the reasons I bought it are no longer valid. It's not getting used for that. But what I got a plan. I am going to sell this bike, and I'm going to buy a smaller, like 200cc dual-purpose dirt bike. Something that's street legal. It'll be small enough that somebody can still learn the basics if somebody wants to learn. I could teach them friction zone and shifting and things like that on a dirt bike, just the same as I can as this. But if I get a 200cc dual-purpose dirt bike that's street legal, then April can start riding on the gravel roads and trails with me when I take the DR650 out. So my needs have changed, and therefore I'm going to sell this little bad boy. Now, if you're not familiar with this bike, they started making these in 1985, so they made them off and on over 40 years. We are now doing 60 mile an hour with my fat ass on it. That's about all I would want to do. They're 65. It'll probably get to 70 if I hold it there, but we're not gonna do that. They say the top speed on it's 79 mile an hour. It will do 70, but it's kind of, for me, it's a struggle, and that's going a slight downhill grade or even grade. If we were going uphill, it would really have a hard time holding 70 with me on it. This particular model is a 2007 with 7,000 miles on it. I think it had 5,000 or 6,000 miles on it when I bought it, 4 years ago. I think it was 4 years ago, 3 or 4 years ago. it had, like, you know, the previous owner had bought it in 2012, and it had most of its miles put on it in the first 5 years. They hadn't put more than a couple hundred miles on it from 2012 to the date I bought it. They never even licensed it, never even titled it in their name. So that's how I know what the mileage was when they bought it. So I bought this bike. It's a good little running bike. You know, several people have rode it. The only thing I can tell you is, you know, if you're a larger frame person, you're not going to want to ride this thing for long periods of time. I feel like my knees are touching the handlebars already, and I'm 5'8" and a half. I'm between 5'8" and 5'9". Now I do weigh about 205, 210. So that's what we're looking at for weight capacity, but it'll haul my butt at 70. If you're a smaller frame person, you're going to find this bike more comfortable. It's going to do a better job of hauling you around. It's great gas mileage. Got a 2.6 gallon tank. I can't swear what the gas mileage is exactly. I've never ran a whole tank through it and, you know, calculated it to be exact. This particular bike had a new battery put in it last year and had a new tire put on it maybe less than 1,000 miles ago. That was 2 years ago. So it does need a front tire. I would recommend changing that. I mean, I'm riding on it and I rode 70 mile an hour on it, so it's not like you got to do it tomorrow, but it's got some cracks in it. It's probably past due to be changed out. Got a little problem. It's been in the garage out of the sunlight the whole time I've had it, but you know, I'd say the tire needs to be replaced. This is a 5-speed. It's a good looking little cruiser bike. They make all kinds of accessories for these things. That's one thing about a 40-year-old bike. There's going to be plenty of parts out there. This thing's been popular. You'll be able to find used or salvage stuff on eBay or, you know, swap meet. I've seen people throw saddlebags on these and luggage racks and trick out the exhaust on them. And, you know, if you're looking for a bike to commute back and forth to work in the city, you know, or just do an afternoon cruise on, you know, and you can't afford a lot, or you're just starting out, this is an absolutely great bike for that. It's got a little surface rust in places. It's not been out in the weather when I had it, so it's probably gotten wet and just didn't get cleaned or taken care of like it should have. And I'll be honest, I've not done much cleaning with it or anything like that in the last 3 or 4 years, but it's not been rode very much the last 3 or 4 years. So, but it starts right up, no problems there. That's one thing about these Hondas, man, they kind of run forever. This is a little twin-cylinder engine. It's got dual exhaust. It's not no race bike, and I'm not going to get on it hard. Only real complaint I've got about this bike is, you know, size factor for an adult. If you're, you know, 5'8" or bigger, you may find it a little bit cramped. You can ride it. I mean, I'm doing it. There's no doubt about that. I don't think I would want to do it all day, but, you know, if you want to ride it for a half hour or an hour, you have a commute to work, perfect. Nothing you can't live with, promise you. Alright, if you like this video, give it a big thumbs up. If you do that YouTube thing, make sure you subscribe down below. If you like my content, hit that bell to be notified the next time I drop a new video. And I really appreciate everybody's support on the channel. As always, stay safe and keep on riding.